One. What's going on, traders? How we doing out there? I said, you know what? Toss out that intro. We're ready to get right to the market. I got my boy Nick Brown on my left shoulder. I got Ryan on my right shoulder. Can it get any better than this? You know where you're at. Benzinga, of course. Let's get to the trading action. I still got 4 swing trades on. I had 8 yesterday, so definitely coming down a little bit off of that. I did take 3 losses, and one of those wins actually covered for those 3 losses. That's what it's all about, of course, when we're in our trading action. We want to make sure our profit to loss ratio keeps us in the edge, right? Mathematical probability in our favor is how we keep going to the next level. Now, best stock for me right now is BJ. That's starting to actually lift here to 66.20s. We'll look to see if that can continue lifting to the 67 today. I've had this from 64.13s. I still have PXD looking for oil to really take off today to the upside. So top play for me will be also watching the XOM, looking for a move back towards 108. We want to see this break 104s. It could do a little crackdown and then come right back. That's fine as long as it doesn't go through really 103.90s. We'll look for that to keep coming right back to the upside. Oil, we'll look for those types of plays to the upside today. Still in Hyatt. I did take some profit in this one yesterday, but now I can just go ahead and hold the rest break even, which is 120.08. I'm going to hold the rest of it at 120 for the stop out and look for this to really start moving to 130. All right, last one that I'll talk about is Ross Stores. Going to look for this to really start pushing. Yesterday, we got to the 115, so I sold some. Now I'm looking for the move to 120, which is really the expansion move higher. We'll see what happens there in Ross Stores and some of these swing trades. Of course, if you guys have any trades you guys want me to look at, throw them up in the chat as we keep going through some stocks today. Let me go ahead and kick it to my man, Ryan. He has multiple things that he wants to cover, so I'll let him go ahead and kick it off.
All right. So first thing that we want to take a look at is the SPY, of course. The host has muted your screen.
I got you, bro. You just had your screen up, the audio. Don't worry. Just keep going, man.
We're good. Okay. So looking at the SPY here, let me see if I can reset this view. Looking at the SPY here, yesterday's candle. What kind of candle is this, Mitch? That is a bearish engulfing candle, one of the huger bearish engulfing candles you're ever going to see. So yesterday, just kind of a crazy day. Really what I want to do is I want to see where we end up going here today. Do we end up breaking one side of these candles? Do we break the bottom or the top of this? Do we turn this into a 2? Anyway, let's see where we go here on the SPY. Given everything that's going on, the impetus is still for a little bit of up. I know we kind of sold off yesterday. We seem to be a little strong in the pre-market today. Let's see what happens when the market actually opens. Couple of things here to note today. First of all, I'm going to wait for Nick to talk about this one. This is Reata Pharmaceuticals. They got a buyout here this morning, so I don't know that there's really going to be anything for us to trade here today based on this piece of news. I'll let Nick go into the deal and all of that, but I want to point something out here for Benzinga Pro users. First of all, you'll notice that this morning at 7:02, the stock was halted for news pending. And then at 7:05, we got the news that Biogen was going to acquire this stock. But this would have been very difficult to trade or just straight up lucky to trade. The key here was yesterday. Yesterday at 9:41 in the morning, we in Benzinga Pro, we had a rumor here that said watching Reata Pharmaceuticals, hearing traders circulate Betaville rumor, Reata Pharmaceuticals has attracted takeover interest at least 2 big pharma companies looking to acquire. Okay, so this was yesterday. You could have bought all you wanted yesterday. In fact, we actually did kind of trade up on that rumor. There was a little bit of action here, and then there was some action later in the day. This stock was $100, $106. Calls on this, you'd be one step closer to retirement had you have traded that. So one of the things that you'll notice that I do is in Benzinga Pro, I color anything that is considered a rumor pink or magenta or whatever color you call this, so that it stands out. So when I see stuff like this, I can take advantage of it. Now, I did not take advantage of this yesterday. I did not see this. I was doing something else entirely. In fact, I believe that this happened while we were on live trading. Just didn't even really look at it. Shame on me. But seeing how this all took place, It's just seeing how this all took place. These are ways that you can set this up, and you only need maybe one or two of these a year. So you guys have all heard the adage, buy the rumors, sell the news. That worked out perfectly here for Riata. So hopefully someone hit that. If not, we'll work on finding the next play here. So again, I don't think there's going to be a trade here today, but this was a massive win that came right out of prior. Okay, couple of stocks that are on today. This is actually just popping here recently. This is BJDX. This is Blue Jay Diagnostics. I haven't even charted this. We really traded above yesterday. We haven't got up to the 940 level. This would have represented Wednesday's intraday high as well as Tuesday's intraday high. So I actually think that this is a level if we're able to get here today. Let me go ahead and mark that off just in case. We're going to call it 940. I marked the line at 939, but it's 940. In fact, let me go ahead and adjust these scales so it's easier for you folks to see out there. Okay. So this one on deck, we can clear out the pre-market top. We can probably go for this 938. Let's see what happens. IFBD, this is another one. Now, I didn't see any news earlier. Let's see if we've actually caught. Nope, still don't see any news. This looks like maybe just a momentum play here. This 109, 110 area, definitely a spot. We did take that out one time in the pre-market and popped. I'd be looking for a repeat of that if we're able to take this level out again in the regular session. So keep IFBD, InfoBird, on your watch list today. Next one here is going to be Saiga. Now, you folks all remember this from the monkeypox days. This stock was absolutely wild. We actually do have a PR here that's driving this today. Saiga shares are trading higher after the company announced $138 million U.S. government contract for oral and IV TPOXX treatment. So we did pop as high as 7 yesterday in the after hours. We actually popped as high as 739. We're holding some of those gains here today. We're beneath the VWAP. So what I'd really like to see for a potential trade here is some build on the volume and maybe a move through that VWAP. I think if we get that, we almost certainly test 7, right? So if we move through the VWAP here at 663, I think there's at least 35 cents for a potential trade as we test 7. If we pop through 7, we probably move higher. We've seen this stock move before in a pretty crazy fashion. So we'd be looking for that here again today. Keep that in mind because it also moves like that to the downside, although it does look fairly strong here today. We'll see how it behaves after the market opens. Nick, I'm really quick. I got 2 more here, and then I'm going to turn it over to you. First one here is Fix. This is Homology Medicines. This is actually really holding kind of a nice range here, and we're pretty much hugging up against the VWAP here. So again, same things we're going to be looking for. Any type of expanding volume, move up to this 121, puts 144 in play if we're able to actually cross it. Now, the next one that I have here is TUP. This is continuing the momentum wave. We have a whole bunch of TUP traders in here. You folks have been trading TUP very, very well. Congratulations. Looks like we're going to have another day here. We'll see 375 is going to be that high spot. If that breaks down here today, this could maybe even make a run at 4. Hard to believe. I think a couple of our traders here still have this from sub $1. Sub $1. So it just goes to show you swinging some of these momentum names overnight can really produce some pretty nice gains. We're approaching almost 400% on some of those. Last one I wanted to mention here real quick was going to be Intel. I know Nick's going to cover Intel here. Intel's popped as high as 37.60. Watch for this one and also watch for more call buying today. I think if we see some of that call buying under this name, we might be able to carry it forward. I did see a number of people mention Tilray. We'll go ahead and take a look at that real quick here. Tilray's not really doing anything yet. Okay, maybe if we can get above 230, which is yesterday's intraday high, maybe, but the volume here is pretty pathetic in the pre-market right now. So I'd actually like to see a lot more volume. To me, no trade here on Tilray at this time. Nick, I'm going to go ahead. You know what? This is, oh no, it is working. Let me know what stocks you want to take a look at. I'll go ahead and drive for you.
I was going to say, we can just take a look at the Biogen Riata Pharmaceuticals deal. So that deal was announced this morning. You saw that in Benzinga Pro. And so the terms of this deal is Biogen is going to buy Riata Pharmaceuticals for about $172.50 per share in cash. And so that enterprise value of about $7.3 billion, you could see not much to trade here, as Ryan said, just because they are getting acquiring. And Biogen says that they are in a release this morning that they're going to update some terms for Q3, Q2 area, just when they acquire this company. It's going to be very interesting to see how that interprets Biogen's new quarter. Intel, INTC, they reported earnings last night. This is a big company. Adjusted EPS of 13 cents, better than expected. Estimate was for a loss of 4 cents. Revenue 12.9 billion. Estimate was for 12.02 billion. Client computing revenue 6.78 billion. Estimate was for 6.1 billion. On track to deliver about 3 billion of cost savings in 2023, and they see Q3 adjusted revenue of 12.9 billion to 13.9 billion. Estimate was for 13.28 billion. T-Mobile, TMUS. Adjusted EPS $1.86. Estimate was for $1.72. Revenue $19.2 billion. Estimate was for $19.37 billion. Raises 2023 guidance, and they see full year postpaid net additions of 5.6 million to 5.9 million. Previously, they saw 5.3 million to 5.7 million. Ford, ticker F. Adjusted EPS 72 cents. Estimate was for 55 cents. Automotive revenue, 42.4 billion. Estimate was for 40.38 billion. They see full year CapEx, 8 billion to 9 billion. They see full year adjusted EBITDA, 11 billion to 12 billion. Estimate was for 10.66 billion. And they now expect to reach 600,000 unit EV production running rate during 2024. Mondelez earnings, MDLZ, adjusted EPS 76 cents. Estimate was for 69 cents. Revenue 8.5 billion. Our expectation was for 8.21 billion. Raises quarterly dividend 10% to 42 cents a share, and they see full year organic net revenue plus 12%. Estimate was for 11.2%. Roku, ticker Roku, EPS loss 76 cents, better than the expectations of $1.27 loss. Sells 847.2 million. Estimate was for 773.43 million. And they see Q3 total net revenue 815 million, better than expectations of 809.97 million. AstraZeneca, AZN is the ticker. They reported core EPS this morning of $2.15. Estimate was for $1.97. Revenue came in at 11.42 billion. Estimate was for 11.07 billion. Reiterating guidance for full year 2023 total rev and core EPS. Centene, ticker CNC, adjusted EPS 210. Estimate was for 202. Revenue 37.61 billion. Estimate was for 36.41 billion. Boost 2023 full year guidance. They see full year adjusted EPS of $6.45. They saw at least $6.40. Estimate was for $6.54. And they see full year revenue 147.3 billion to 149.3 billion. They saw 144 billion to 146.5 billion. So raising the guidance there. Chevron, CVX, adjusted EPS $3.08. Estimate was for $2.93. Revenue 48.9 billion. Estimate was for 48.52 billion. Net production 2.96 million barrels a day, and they bought back more than 27 million shares for 4.4 billion in Q2. Remember, we did get preliminary results Sunday evening. ExxonMobil, XOM, adjusted EPS $1.94. Estimate was for $2. Total rev and other income 82.91 billion. Estimate was for 82.31 billion. They remain on track to deliver 9 billion of structural cost savings by end of 2023 relative to 2019. And to end it off, Procter & Gamble, ticker PG, core EPS $1.37. Estimate was for $1.32. Net sales 20.55 billion. Estimate was for 20.06 billion. Organic rev 8%. Estimate was for 5.97%. Gross margin 48.4. Estimate was for 47.6. Beauty organic sales 11%. Estimate was for 6.91%. Healthcare organic sales plus 5%. Estimate was for 7%. They see 2024 EPS $6.25 to $6.43. And they see 2024 organic revenue 4% to 5%. Estimate 4.41%. And Ryan, you're on mute.
Sorry about that. We are open, top running right into the open here, but kind of pulling back since we open. We'll see what happens. Paul, I'm not sure what stock you're talking about. You're going off there, but I'm not sure what stock you're even referring to regarding the CEO making inaccurate statements on CNBC. And by the way, if you want Nick to reach out, I mean, Nick tries to do that all the time, so maybe he'll be able to help you out with that.
Yeah, I was able to get a statement from Chevron. So yes, I do have some capacity of reaching out to the media relations team and different teams at different organizations. If you want me to do that, I can.
Okay. BJDX down, top down out of the open here. IFBD, apparently one of you folks said this was a Zip Trader Charlie play. So watching that here, I got VWAP at what? VWAP at 103.7, and the current price is about 103. So right near the VWAP there. We'll see if that ends up moving up. Oh, Paul Timas. Okay. So there you go. So T-Mobile. So Paul said, pay attention. The CEO made inaccurate statements on CNBC claiming they have no wired lines, but they do, and they're spending a ton in Colorado competing with. You just left that off there. IFBD did move here as I started to read Paul's comment. Missed IFBD. So Paul, I'm going to need you to send me something there as an apology. Just kidding, of course. But IFBD moving here, actually coming right back in. Be careful with this one. I don't necessarily like these Zip Trader Charlie plays, to be quite honest with you. Saiga, we'll see if this moves back up towards the VWAP here. Top still breaking down. Saiga reversing. Don't see anything great here, folks. Not early.
What do you mean? After 8:30 economic data this morning, it's the weekend. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, no. I mean, the part of that is true. There's no company who's reporting earnings. I mean, summer Fridays can be crazy. Crazy stuff can happen, and if you're successful in taking advantage of that, that's great.
Well, that happened last week. We had Disney news, Shopify news.
Looks like BJDX did halt into that last move here. Roku, nice little move out of the gate above the after hours high from yesterday's session. That's a good thing. ELBM, don't see that one on the scanner. Let's see what on earth is going on. ELBM, let's take a look here. That is moving up through the VWAP. Noel, I noticed Noel was in here. Noel, you were gone while EOSC was making its gigantic move up towards the fives. Of course, we had a huge sell-off yesterday on a piece of news, short report there. Punishment continues. Glad I got out when it was going good. Yeah, no, we talked to, I was mentioning this. I was like, where's Noel? Where's Noel? Every day that this was trading up almost to 6. Kept saying, where's Noel? Where's Noel? But yeah, EOSC, we'll see where this ends up settling here. This might be another opportunity to dip by it. I'm going to wait for this short report stuff to settle though. Great trade though. That was like 2s to almost 6.
All right, guys. Pretty good day to start it off, right? Only thing in the red from the open is energy. So just to kind of state that, keep an eye out, but pretty good day to start it off.
Well, I was going to say WTI closed above 80, I think, for the first time since April, per yesterday. So I think oil stocks are moving. Plus, we had Chevron, Exxon report earnings this morning. There's a lot of volatility in the oil markets. And plus, with all this heat, there's energy prices with the grid. So there's a lot of concerns for energy prices and different companies like First Solar. Yeah.
All right, guys. I'm going to sell half of BJ here just to take a nice little profit in BJ. So I'll take a nice little profit to start off my day. And what this makes me do is it gives me that nice little cushion feeling, right? And so now I can just look at all my other trades and just look for them to continue working. Ross, Hyatt, BJ, PXD, all those. PXD slightly in the red here for the open. I'm going to look to see if oil does that kind of red to green move. We're definitely are red right now in energy to start. Let's see if this keeps coming down or not. That's a hard down action move there in XOM. I don't know how you're able to hold through that action if you were long that name to start. So that's a hard little candle there. I'm going to look to see if it recovers.
PLTR moving here. Coming back into the VWAP now on PLTR.
All right, Roku's move was interesting. Yeah, that definitely was a nice little pop there, and I felt this could come back. I know my other friends on pre-market prep don't feel too positive about Roku, but I wouldn't bet against it. Let's just say that much. And for that case, I wouldn't be betting too much against ARKK. That's just not my type of bet against. I think some of those stocks can continue to lift.
You're not betting against Kathy Wood?
No, I did for like 2 years, and now
I
it's
was
time
gonna
to
say
flip.
that's not new for Mitch. He's done
No.
that before.
The key though is, and I've learned this about trading, is you need to be able to flip too. You need to be able
Yeah.
to get
Yep.
over that negative view that I had on Kathy Wood and then get towards more of a positive view. Why? Because the stocks are telling me to do that, not Kathy telling me to do that. I don't think that she just became smarter all of a sudden. No, just the stocks are pointing for me to get over that preconceived opinion about Kathy Wood.
Saiga might be going higher here now. Saigo's really flirting with its VWAP. Let's see if it can go higher and push away.
Yeah, DraftKings, definitely a good stock, and no one would have guessed this, I thought, really, to tell you the truth. And this is why sometimes you got to buy things when nobody thinks about buying a stock, right? Because DraftKings, it was starting to come here to the beginning of the year, and man, it was down there to $12. Some people thought DraftKings was going to go under 10, and this thing's back at 31. I think it might never ever go back towards that $12. So I think this is a pretty interesting stock as it keeps going higher and higher.
I was going to say
Nick,
BJDX halted, volatility halt.
Nick, are you hearing any news on Sunrun about an activist investor?
Let me scan the wires quickly. I can see what I can find. I don't. Yes, there's a one. There's an activist note is what I'm seeing here.
Nice little pop there on run.
Yep, scalped that. Thank you. Was trying to check the news to determine whether or not I was going to stay in it. Couldn't get it, so just take the scalp and move on.
So you can look for the rest of the industry to maybe start getting a lift off of that. And I already saw FSLR, of course, pull back a pretty significant amount. EMPH got whacked on their earnings, yet they're up at the open. How do you do that one? Well, your leader takes the real big move, and then now the other ones are trying to play a little bit of catch up. Array going higher here, Run going higher. SPWR.
You got your screen, Mitch? You got your screen, Mitch?
Yeah, I got you. I just have so many. I didn't set up correctly here.
Was that the company that lowered their revenue? That they wasn't there one company that said they expect less revenue in the quarter? Like they lowered.
Yeah, EMPH, and then it goes up at the open. You see how that one works, Nick?
I don't get it. I really don't get it.
The
key how that
there
works
is the psychology move, Nick. And so this is why I always say that psychology of the market matters even more than fundamentals, technicals, or story. And so the key here is FSLR gives you a really good report, but look at what it does at the open, Nick. Look, FSLR's report was awesome. Look at the open. Look at the open on FSLR, straight down. How does that happen? Well, the truth is it's the psychology here, guys. And so what you need to do is switch to a deeper time frame chart to show you that it's pulling back and trying to catch the lift. And the thing that I would look for ENPH is more for it to catch the bounce and then get shorted into, things like that. And so that's the hard part of the market, that it's not always logical. Sometimes it's illogical. And so what I've come down to it is that the market is never logical. It's always just trying to switch between what makes sense and what doesn't make sense.
Saiga might be going here.
I got you. I'll put you up there. All right, let's look around. Let's try to get a trade today. And one of the things I'll be looking at is to see if technology really takes off. Micron sold that one a little bit too early. It is pulling back today, though. I'm going to be looking for pullbacks below into the gap spot and then looking to rebuy Micron, but not a bad move. And Intel also, I talked about that one yesterday. This one's been pulling back all morning. I actually like this pullback here to 36 as it starts to kind of balance out here. Charge point lifting. That one actually looking good today, guys. Remember, we got that mention. This actually looks pretty decent today.
All right, out of Saiga temporarily. We'll see if it goes higher. We'll try to buy that break if it does. Ooh, they pulled. Oh gosh, that was a good sell. That was a good sell. Oh my, Saiga pulling back now. Let's see where this settles. I might actually try buying some of this dip here.
Charge point looking really good
oof.
here.
I'm gonna try buying this pullback real quick. That was a nasty pull. This is super risky. Yeah, I don't know. Nope. Well, out as it goes against. Okay, so made a little bit of money there on Saiga. There we got lunch money happening again here. 2 for 2 on some of those scalps, but they were both really, really small. I'd like to find a better trade. Saiga looks like this is really selling off. Holy smokes.
All right, guys, I did get stopped out in this one earlier in the week, but I'm going against another swing trade here in tech. So I just grabbed a little bit of that. That's a long swing trade. Seeing CCJ looking really good. So if you guys are looking for day trades, that looks interesting for me above 3350s today. So I'd look for pullbacks here, and then to get through 3350s. Charge point really kind of taking off here. I'm looking for some pullbacks. I'm already late to the game, but charge point, nice move there. Maybe EVGO gets the lift today. Blink gets the lift today. Those looking good right now. EVGO off to the $4 spot, 410s. Now looking pretty decent. Pullbacks to 412.
Wow, Mersana got downgrades today, lowering the price target to 1. It's trying to bounce here. I'm not in this, but this is trying to go. It's like we had downgrades yesterday too. UFAB went. I know you penny players. Crow, you were on this, I think. Oh, did I click the wrong? Boy, I am just misclicking all over the place today. UFAB, this really went out of the gate here. Pull back to VWAP. Bang, this thing running higher. Run going higher, by the way. So it looks like those activist investors driving that stock here. Run taking the next leg up here. Interesting stuff this morning.
Watch Google. They're mentioning AI. They're training. Google is building building AI into robots to teach them how to throw out trash. That's according to a new CNBC report released at like 9:20 this morning. It says that the Robotics Transformer 2 RT-2 is a vision language action model trained on information and images on the internet that can be translated into actions for the robot. So they're mentioning AI. Google is moving higher.
Trying to get long here. Intel off the bottom here and try to risk off of below towards 3570s for the Moo account. I got you. I'll put you up on a second here. That's on a different screen. My bad there, guys. I just haven't had my OBS open yet. But here's Moo. Trying to get this on the pullback there. We'll look to see if I get filled at 84s. Orders out there right now. Boom. There we go. It just got filled there. Now I just got to be careful here. I wanted it to be risking pretty close here. So I'm going to do like 35.69 for kind of a stop limit if I need to get out here. But this can give me an ability to catch a stock that had good earnings on an hourly pullback level and then look for it to keep going higher. We'll see what happens there. Hourly levels seem to make sense around kind of the for it to recover back towards 36.76 on the day. I'm really going to look to see if we can recover 37 today. But there you guys see it's already back down below that level where I was going to risk. I didn't even put it on there because it would have already hit. So I'm trying to give this at least 5 minutes to get out of this little kind of wick candle and get back above the 35.70 mark. But here you guys see it over there, 63s, already 64. So got to be careful there. Definitely not going to let it get through the 50 spot. That's definitely kind of like an area where I can't let it go. But one thing, of course, is that I can risk up to about $6. So that's about the 50 spot there. That's 578 right now on this account. So I'm going to go ahead and just set that in there as I start seeing the bounce now. And so look for it to start bouncing back. Tigger, says Becca. Tigger. All right, let's see what else is making moves on the day here. Qualcomm has been a stock that has been looking really well as of late. I kind of really like this move here as it starts going back towards the 130s. So if you're looking for a tech stock that hasn't really participated in the rally that could keep going, Qualcomm looking really good.
Tiger, Tigger, whatever. This is moving here. Nice little move off the VWAP. Good volume expansion there too. Nice spot, Bex.
Nice little move there. And has some volume for you to get in. So
I was going to say, Mitch, you've been watching Alibaba. They're breaking out right now about almost 4%, near $100.
oh man, some people talk about some stocks and some people listen, Nah, Nick, that was a classic trade, man. Anytime I hear China rumors, I try to play the rumor and look for that to really come into play. Baba almost to 100. Talked about that on Monday. Would we get back towards that 100 level? And that was when we were sitting at 92. So not a bad little 8 points there. That's about a 8% like view for the week on Baba, and it's about to hit it. Where will you have gotten that? Pre-market prep, of course. I don't think they were talking about that on CNBC this week, but CNBC, you can call me. My name's Money Mitch. I'll see you later.
Well, I tweeted a Dennis last night, Dennis Stick. I says, we need to have a markets in turmoil special. We had all the major averages close lower yesterday. I said, we need to have a markets in turmoil.
the red bar, the famous red bar.
All the blood, and we gotta join the media in scaring the shit out of everybody as much as possible. That is their only play in their playbook.
Us three tonight, 6 p.m. right here. Markets in turmoil.
I am gonna have a cork pulled on a bottle of wine, Nick. I am not gonna be promoting fear tonight on Friday night. I am gonna be enjoying some wine.
Yeah, I'll be doing the fear. Fearing myself as I get that shot in, baby.
I was gonna say, don't you have baseball or something tonight? I would imagine.
That's Saturday or Sunday.
Okay, I got you.
Don't worry, we're allowed to drink on Fridays.
Golfing this weekend, Ryan?
Yeah, actually just golfed yesterday. Played horrible, but yeah, I'm gonna go again this weekend. And then next week I have a trip. So trip with some coworkers here. So I won't be on live trading Thursday or Friday next week. But I will be on Wednesday.
The upside. There's a nice little bounce there in Intel. I pretty much approached the bottom there, was able to hold off of the 50s, didn't get hit on that downside action there. Now we're coming back there to 35.89s. I needed to recover VWAP now. 36.19s. We'll look to see if that recovers. Wouldn't want to see it really break even 35.60s now as it starts to come back. Really looking for a recovery of 37 on the day. AMD is one that I'm looking for some upside action. They did have some good news this morning. A couple of wicks on the 5 minutes, now holding 113s. Let's see if it takes 114 on the upside move. Looking for the cues to keep breaking to the upside. It's actually had a good move here. And this is what I'm talking about in pre-market prep, where I feel like everybody jumps on the bear wagon really quickly. Look at the price action we're getting today. Upside. And this is the way I'm going to be approaching the markets, man. I'm telling you. It's a bubble, baby. Just ripping, man. Look at that. Right back up there. Amazon's one to watch. Does report earnings next week on Thursday. It could run into that earnings. Netflix was one of my major indicators for the day. If Netflix was going to come back, then yeah, I could see the market coming back. Microsoft. What did I talk about on pre-market prep? Of course, those two stocks as being great indicators for the market today. And there you have it. What has happened towards the open? Just take a look. Take a peek at Microsoft. Take a peek at these stocks. It's been a big stock move up. I'll show you guys that right now. Let's get to the action. And you guys can also see this on the Explore tab, of course, on Moomoo, as we're seeing a lot of stocks higher today. But look at the NASDAQ. Look at the S&P 500. Let's get to some of those stocks here so you guys can really see the action here. So Microsoft, right back to the upside. Look at the green bars here, guys. At the open, what happened there? Just liftoff. Just liftoff on Microsoft. And that tells me enough, guys. Look at Netflix. It kept going down and down and down and down. Look at the right-hand side here. Just liftoff out the gates. I'm telling you, those bears out there, they're scratching their heads right now. They're like, what do you mean? What do you mean, Nick? Market in turmoil? There is no market in turmoil, man. This is bubble mentality. Bubble markets, man. They just keep lifting.
Then you want to have a bubble special tonight, 6 p.m.?
That's what we should be having, Nick. We are
Double
in a
bubble
bubble.
trouble.
Double bubble trouble. Ryan knows the title. The truth is that when we have these reactions, I've only seen it a couple times where the market just says, whatever you want to do, I'm going higher. I saw it in the pandemic. Everyone kept scratching their heads. Yeah, the market should come right back down. No, the market just kept lifting. And it's crazy is that we're in a quantitative tightening cycle and we're seeing this. Just get ready to when we pivot. Like these markets, they want to go higher, man.
5,400 by next year on S&P 500.
Whose call was that again?
Ed Jardini, between 48 and 5,400.
I'm looking for stocks to go higher. One stock that I talked about that could keep lifting off of AI names is Adobe. Adobe looking good here at 524. Roku, remember earlier? Look at that move now, man.
Yep.
I gotta sometimes
I should have taken it too.
Sometimes I try my best not to be against Joel and Dennis, but yeah, man, on Roku, man, I had that feeling today. They were like, I'd sell it. Look at that big old lift, man. You got to be careful on stocks like that, man. I could feel that setting up technically just to the key. That's the undercut and rally type of trade where you cut out the traders at the 70. They're all yesterday like, oh, I got to get out Roku. And they look at it today and they're like, what the hell happened?
It's a good product overall.
And one thing that I think, Nick, that a lot of people don't think about with Roku is advertising. Because I focus on that with Roku. And
I mean, do you have any Roku TVs in your house?
Dude, it's right next to me.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is the key, man, is people I think they just misunderstand what Roku is. They just think it's the player.
Right.
And that's not what it is. That's just that was the start of Roku. It's expanded into much more.
I will say, Mitch, it's good. It's really good to help save money, especially for cable, because you have the streaming. You can just stream instead of having all these different cable boxes, and it saves tons of money. And it's a good product overall. You can connect it to your phone, and you can watch on the go. It's a great product overall. No complaints.
Nice move here in tech. You guys remember I just bought that? That started to lift pretty well here too. So tech is a kind of CCJ type of play, valet type of play. Those are the types of plays that I've been looking at. Look at that nice little lift off there. Tech now towards 43.69. Going to look for this to continue lifting as I'm already almost up a point on this name. And I just grabbed it today. We'll see what happens there. I got that at 43.12s. It's already at 43.75. Looking at 43.80s, almost to 44 already. This one looking pretty good.
Nick, quick question for you. I'm looking at two stocks here that have a news item that's related. Ticker MXL, which is Max Linear, and ticker SIMO, which is Silicon Motion Technology. Silicon Motion repudiates Max Linear's allegations and intends to enforce merger agreement. Do you know what's going on here with these two companies? The reason I'm asking is because they're both up, which is, to me, seems strange. Max Linear up here by 8%. SIMO up, I think, more than that, 15%. Now, SIMO, it looks like reported earnings, and it looks like those earnings were good. I'm just wondering if there's anything that you can tell me about these companies here and what's going on with this. I don't understand this news piece.
Which, the PR release?
Yeah, the one here from 8:30 this morning that references MXL and SIMO. And I would open that to the group here. If any of you folks know about this issue, let me know what's going on.
So the one I see is that Silicon Motion repudiates and they want to enforce the merger agreement. So in that release, it says that Max Linear's 11th hour proprietary termination of its merger agreement with Silicon Motion is invalid and reflects a repudiation of obligations rather than any failure. So I'm going to dig through more of the release here, see what they were trying to combine, when this was supposed to happen. And yeah.
My question is, why are they both up? I would feel that one of them should be down and one of them should be up, perhaps, but they're both up this morning. That's why it was. That's why I brought it to your attention.
Well,
If we can,
SEMA reported earnings, but they weren't really that great overall. They missed on EPS. They did a smidge higher than expected on revenue. The stock did fall on Wednesday, and it traded lower on again Thursday. So now it's higher. I'll check the research.
okay,
notes.
yeah, it's just an interesting situation. I don't know what's going on. They're asking out of ignorance. Real quick, while we were talking about that IFBD, which is apparently Zip Trader Charlie's play for today, really, really busted above this 106 and went. So nice little day trade scalp here. IFBD, this went. I was not in it. So I guess that's what I get for saying I don't really like his plays, and then it just goes in my face without me. That's instant karma in the market. Instant.
That's how it works sometimes, right?
That's how it works sometimes, man. You just gotta be able to roll with it. Big volume here on IFBD though.
All right, Valet kind of filling in the gap and holding the 9 EMA now. This is an interesting one for me, at least to see a bounce back right back up there towards eventually 15 and then 16. I love how this stock came back, and I'm glad I got rid of it for a profit. Now I could rebuy it, not at the same entry, but at least I've already taken some profits. So we'll see what happens on Valet. Today, looking to see aluminum starting to get higher, and so AA looking good there. I remember I was playing that CENX. I just didn't give it enough time. It's right back up there to 909, so it doesn't look too bad. But Alcoa also trying to get back into the green and hold that. Basic materials up back towards the upside, so steel back into play as you're seeing X get the bounce today. New core stocks like that making a pretty decent move. Charge point, not a bad one to keep an eye out for. I'm definitely watching it, and that's a nice little pullback there. Wouldn't mind trying to take this one on maybe a swing trade. The key here is that I could risk off of like kind of right below it to $8, right? So the risk is only going to be 17 cents. Got to keep that in mind and then just go at it with a decent size here to see if it can get back there towards 9 and 10. That's about what? Almost like $2 for about 17 cents. I'll take it. Let's see if I can get in here. All right. Just grab there 815s there, 815s on charge point. Going to risk off that 8, and I can already just stop and just let it work.
Anyone know what's going on with View here? This looks like it's kind of just riding the VWAP up. Really spready though. What is the spread on this? It asks spread like 30 some cents. I mean, this is wild. I don't even know if we can trade this.
Ooh, what happened there in Intel? Nice little spike there. All right, so a nice little spike there in Intel as it starts to get back up there above the 36. I'm looking good on that reversal play. And of course, that's in the Moo account. Let's go, let's go.
Ryan, I was going to say there was a news alert yesterday from View. View granted a European patent titled Power Distribution Networks for Electrochromic Devices Smart Windows. They said it was halted yesterday in the afternoon at 3:57. Then it resumed trading after hours. I'm not sure if it's because of a patent they issued, but it was halted multiple times yesterday. It was halted at 9:38, 9:51. 145 again at 3:57. So this is going to be one that to watch.
Okay, so this is one you should really be careful with. We call this halt fests.
Yes.
But this one, okay, that's interesting. You know what's crazy about this is we take a look at the chart here. This was $6 yesterday at one point, and it's up here at 13. So just kind of keep that in mind too. This is kind of a dangerous one. But what's interesting is the formation. Like it's just kind of riding this up. We'll see. We shall see. The IQ is pulling back. Looks like. Look at View go now. Look at View go now. There it goes. This is a wild one.
That's
You
smart windows,
also
bro.
had a reverse split of 160. Jay, good looking out, my man.
So the big thing there is also
Some of those have gone.
Understand how much home construction has taken off, right? And so this is actually not a bad stock to keep an eye out for.
View, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really.
Okay.
I think in the long run, this
Well,
is
tell
one of
you-
those types of stocks that like could reverse its
I'll
trend.
Mitch, I'll tell you what then. Why don't you chart this? Why don't you see
That's the
what
hard
kind of
part. That's
Yeah.
the hard part. You know why? Because of that 1-for-60 split.
I was just gonna say because of the
So
split. This
there's
thing's
no more
above
chart
15.
now.
It's gonna be
There's no
halted.
more chart
It's
now.
gonna be halted. It's gonna be halted at 15.10.
You know what you do? You just hold every action after above 880. I'll chart that. So from there, I'll chart it. So
So you're
anything above,
basically you're long as long as the price stays above 880.
yeah, that's the way it seems like,
Okay.
at least from the action, right? And so what you got there is you got a nice little bull flag and then an attempted rip up even already in the pre-market, and that's a little bit hard to get through. So with view now that you're above 15s, I'd look for pullbacks below 14s here. That makes sense. But to tell you the truth, this is already on takeoff. It's very hard to catch a stock as it already have lifted like this. The only way I think was to play it today was earlier in the day, and I'll show you guys that right now off of
Okay.
kind of the VWAP. And so if you were playing that off of the VWAP earlier in the day, then that kind of makes sense. But other than that, it's going to be very hard to get through it now. And that was just playing kind of the action in the pre-market, right? Where you could have grabbed it around, let's say this 1230s, 1250 area. That made sense. At this point, you're $3 away from that and through your pre-market high. If anything, I would be selling some on the rip here above 15s, and then I'd be holding the rest at my break even instead of stop and go watch the Price is Right.
Hey guys, we have two things here. One, we just
Oil
got
explosion.
got that, and then we just got some new eco data. So University of Michigan sentiment for July, this is the final read, 71.6. Estimates for 72.6. Previously was 72.6. Current conditions, 76.6. Previously was 77.5. Expectations for July final was 68.3. Previous was 69.4. 1 year inflation, July final, 3.4%. Previously was 3.4%. 5 to 10 year inflation, 3.3% actually. Estimate was for 3%. Previously was 3.1%. And then as Ryan says, we are getting some news out of Reuters that the Russia's local parliamentary deputy says explosion reported at oil refinery in Russia's Samara. So watch oil stocks and watch the S&P moving on the eco data for the news and then the Russia oil news.
All right, I kind of like XOM on this pullback. I'm thinking about taking a shot off the 103s here. And have to get it towards 103.50s, but let's see if I can get the 103.50s here. I think we're going to get that cut down right now. So let me go at it a little bit slower here and put some orders on this pullback. Working my way down towards 103. I have it laddered towards 103.05 as the lowest limit. And so we'll see if I get filled right now in XOM. I'm trying to get long on some of that. Let me go ahead and get my OBS studio so you guys can see my other chart up here. Just been doing so much today. But keeping an eye also on Intel, right? That's still working for me, and that's going to be definitely my trade of the day there on Mumu. Look to see if that keeps pushing. And I'm decently up on that now, up about $7, up about 1.23%. And I did the reversal on that action versus the looking for the long term. Big thing for me, just hold 36 now and just keep working your way back to 37 on the day. And then I can even swing trade this if I wanted to. Starting to get filled there on some XOM. Just got the first little hit. I'm going to look for this to keep going. All right, let me get this.
Mersana, this actually broke a huge wall at 131. This is moving now into the gap or into the gap. The gap. This is moving into the gap here on Mersana. Not in it.
All right. So this is the XOM play here. I already started to get filled a little bit there. Going to look for this to kind of hold the 102.50 spot here on any cut through. And then really the key is for it to recover 105. If it doesn't recover 105 today, even, I'll be probably getting out of it because this does look like it's pulling back right now, even on a longer time frame. So what the move has to be is the close back above 105s on the day, looking like it wants to come back through 106 and 107. Really, a 108 breaks out of this bearish pattern. And so we really need to break this bearish pattern. If you can get back towards 108, that will do it. But if not, it could come right back through the 100. Always keep that in mind. And I always keep both sides of the trade in mind. Too many traders have a tendency of doing what? Only looking how they would play this stock on the long side versus both sides. Some China stimulus news. Yeah, that's been out there for a while. And I think that that's going to continue giving the lift, but eventually a pullback, right? Look at BABA. Now 126. There you go. Not a bad call out from Monday from 92 towards 100 on
View
BABA.
open now. View is open here. Going higher,
you
man.
Up full screen, my friend.
Yeah, this it was too spready, and I was wondering what was going on here. Just a little too late. This thing took off after we talked about it. I mean, just took. It's going to halt here again. 1716. Another halt coming here.
It's all. I think it's already halted, at least from my action there. I love how some guys just start lining up their orders. There's already like 500 at 1765. Like, yeah, open up at 1765. Take me out. I can't blame them. Can't blame them.
Me either.
That's how I like to do it. Like, so like, let's say if I expect this to open up higher, I guess where I think it's going to open up and I put an order out there. I'm like, all right, if this thing opened up right now and I bought it at 17, if I sold it at 1775, would I be happy? Yeah. All right. So let's just put the order out there so that when the stock opens for some reason up above that, already get hit. That's why a stock like this, it's ripping up so fast. This is when I used to have different hotkeys to put out an order, just trying to get filled, like on a pop. So let's say, like,
I mean, this thing spreads so crazy, though, Mitch. I'd be so scared to do that.
So the way that I do that there, Ryan, is that so if you let's say you were in a little bit earlier, or you did, let's say 16, somehow you were quick enough to get 16, right? So you got that 16. You need to have also a sell button really quickly. I used to put out I used to have 3 different buttons. I used to have 30 cents, 40 cents, 50 cents. So I would be like, all right, so sell my stock on average entry plus 50 cents on the offer. And that was the hotkey that I would immediately just press if I got into like a big mover. Because if I got filled in less than, let's say, 2 seconds for a 50-cent win, I don't know about you guys, but I wouldn't be mad. You know what I mean?
When you get
Like,
fast
it's
gains
just
like that, you just take it. I mean, come on.
Yeah, if you can be quick like the algorithms and just take that in and out, then from there you have a huge cushion to play with if you want to get back into the stock. That's another thing that sometimes I would even be like, okay, well, I have a $500 cushion now. Let me go ahead and use maybe 100 of that to see if I can keep playing this. We'll see what happens. View could keep going, but always understand this is the highest risk trade probably out there right now. Even though it's still a good potential return, it's still the highest probably risk right now for going up and up and up, and then all of a sudden giving you that down halt also. So be careful, traders. XOM, I do have a nice little fill there, and I didn't get all my fills. I only got 1 fill there. So XOM already bouncing right back up towards 103.85s, but I got one of the fills there. Now the big thing for me is to take out 105 and go higher. Look for other stocks to lead the game today, not ExxonMobil normally leads the game. I'm looking for more like Chevron or Oxy, stocks like that to kind of show me some strength today. Oxy's right off VWAP. Let's see if it goes back to 62 or below 6150s. We'll see what happens here. XOM trying to make the move back above 104s. All right, let's keep looking around. Let's go to the Qs. Let's see what happened there. And as we're up there towards 382s, can we keep this going? Just keep your eyes on stocks that started strong. Microsoft, Netflix, stocks like that. I'll look for them to keep riding higher if this market wants to keep pushing. Look where Netflix is at today. It went down below 415, now all the way up there to almost 422, almost 423 on the rip to the upside. That's a nice little move there. All right, out there, guys. You guys smash the like button. If you guys are enjoying, of course, this stream as we do this every single day for you guys, absolutely for free. Free 99.
Never know about paywalls nowadays. They just click on live trading and say, sorry, you have to log in.
Yeah, you know it, man. And there's a lot of places out there that they charge for a room like this. I'll tell you that much.
Not us, because we actually care about our fans and traders.
I mean, we figure we can always find other ways to monetize, and we don't need to monetize you guys. And that's what we try to do here at Benzinga. Trust me, I know it, and that's what we choose to do. We find other ways to make revenue, and we don't want to just kind of milk you guys here. And so enjoy this, guys, because Ryan and I really, truly love to do this for you guys. And I think this is definitely Ryan and I's favorite part of the day, every single day, being here with you guys.
No question. And I love the whole education and entertainment aspect of it.
Yeah.
If I was told that, hey, Ryan, we really can't joke around anymore on live trading, I'd be like, you know what, you might need to find a different host.
Yeah, dude, for real. I can't help myself sometimes too. I'd be like, you just want me to get fired because you know me.
And I surely ain't doing the show by myself. Absolutely not.
You got it, Nick. Hey, you know what they say, right?
Come on, guys. Early worm gets the worm.
Who's here for the
Stonk.
Who's here for
is
the
that stonks? Is that what that is?
Stonks.
Marshall, I'm hands off view. I looked at it early. I was like, this is too spread, and then I watched it go. Now it feels like a chase. So that's why I was asking Mitch to chart it. If it comes back into one of those viable levels, re-examine it. I'm leaving it right now. That's not to say it's not tradable. It's just for my own risk, I'm opting to stay away from this one, at least for the time being.
Yeah, we'll see what happens, guys. We got to keep battling, right? It's not going to be easy. We'll see what happens there on view, and it's a hard one there, definitely to catch. I think you had to catch that earlier. It's very hard.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like I'm chasing now if I try to trade it, and we spend all this time talking about process and not chasing. That would make me real crappy.
Another thing to kind of understand about this stock is just the rule of three, guys, and how much this comes into play so much. And I think that sometimes I talk about this, and I honestly, there's only one thing in my at least learning that has ever gotten me to the point where I'm like, maybe I don't teach this because it's that good. Like, look at here, guys. Look how the stock goes up here. It goes up. It comes right back down. Actually, you know what? I've been wanting to do this more. Hold on a second. Let me pull up my Benzinga Pro. I've been wanting to do this more on Pro because I want to show you guys a different way to kind of use Pro that I really think it's a fun way of using it. So let me go ahead and bring this up right quick here. All right. So let's go to view. Boom, boom. All right. So I'm going to show you guys it from my Benzinga Pro, of course. And if you guys haven't used this, of course, just go to the chart and check out these kind of features that I added. These are my favorite types of things. You can star them on the left-hand side so that they show you up. And then all of a sudden, what you want to do is also you want to hit the save button, right? Have those save layouts. So this kind of saves for you. But I really like this path one. And that's what we're going to use here to kind of describe this stock here. And so we're going to use this path one to kind of draw it out. Look how the stock comes up here, gives you that first up move, right? This is that first up move. Then you come down. You're going to get that first down move here. Then you're going to get the second up move. We're going to look for the second support try. Now we're going to look for that third resistance try. There you get your third resistance try. Now we look for the third support to hold. And from that, look for reversal action to take out the highs. What happens on this stock? Kabam, guys. I mean, can it get any better than that? I think this is exactly what you guys want to be seeing when you're looking for this kind of rule of three type of stock to do these lifts, pull back. And what this helps me do is when I see the stock lift here and I see the stock lift again, I say, Come back to the support. Let me get you at 13. Let me get you close to this support here. 1250s. Let me try to get close to that 1250s because I can layer down below that support down towards like 1230s risk here, get a small entry here, see the stock go back up to 1450 and then say, just don't take out 13s on this time. And where does it go to? It wicks right here to maybe like 1290 something. And then boom, you get your upside action. This is why I talk about, and this is honestly the only thing in my learning that I've ever been like, yeah, maybe you should keep this to yourself, Mitch. And why? Because there's edge off of that. And it's up to you guys to take a look at that, learn from it. I can tell you right now, this is the only thing in my book that I can say that, hey, yeah, Mitch, you might have found something. And I look for it all the time. I think the algos do too. All right, kicking it to you, Ryan. What are you seeing out there in the market?
I'm actually not seeing a whole lot of anything. I've just been trying to go through my scanner list. I don't really see a whole lot of new setups. Maybe IFBD if it bounces, although it didn't really come into its VWAP. Jesse's saying, Ryan, I'm interested into what wine you drink. I may take your suggestions. I drink reds predominantly. Big fan of cabs. I like them dry and not sweet, but full-bodied. So there you go.
There's Intel continuing, guys. Intel has made it already up there towards 36.69. I'm up a pretty good amount already, so just looking for that to keep working, about 1.55 up on that position. We opened it up today. That's in the moo, guys. The moo. I got a
View, by the way, opened. Came immediately back in and downside halt. So third halt here is a downside halt.
That's where it gets a little dangerous, right? And that's where it's like, yeah, remember the risk, guys. Remember the risk. Always risk.
Rustam saying, I love Camus. Yeah, me too. And I have a bottle of Camus, but I can't drink that all the time because it's expensive and really, really good. It's worth the money. Absolutely worth the money. But I'm not at a point where I'm drinking $100 bottles of wine every weekend. Not there yet, Rustam.
Yeah, that's what we got to make the trade live, baby.
Well, I do have one, though. I do have one in my wine cabinet.
There you go. At least. Tell you what, I don't. I just keep the bourbon. I have a bourbon collection too, so. Oh, I know you do. I know you. I know you, my friend. The bachelor life over here.
Austin Hope. Okay, I don't know if I've tried Austin Hope. I will. I do like Meiomi. I do like the Meiomi Pinot Noir. I like Pinot Noirs as well as cabs, and that Meiomi is a really good one at a very affordable price too. Very drinkable.
Wilson, if you're having issues with your brokerage, like average price not calculating correctly after stock reversals and things like that, I would definitely give them a call. Just give them a call. That's probably going to be your best way. Always contact your brokerages, and also know how you can contact your brokerage is very important, right? We talk about this all the time. You need to be able to communicate in moments like this where you have a question and you need an answer. That's what they're there for. Not necessarily us. So I don't say that we can give you that answer, Wilson. I say reach out to them.
I just go to Ryan with any of my issues on Benzinga Pro.
Yes, he does.
On the Pro, you can do
as
that.
do most.
I even work here and I don't know half these features on Pro. And I just say, Ryan, what are you talking about? He said something about highlighting. I'm like, oh, I've never highlighted anything.
Yeah, you can highlight. I like the path feature that I just showed you guys. That one's a pretty nice one. You can draw out the trade and just keep drawing it out. And then also for my people that use Benzinga Pro on a daily basis, if you want to use like hotkeys for trend lines and things like that, remember Alt-T for the trend line, Alt-H for the horizontal line. Things like this can definitely help you.
It bothers whenever I select horizontal line, it bothers everybody that uses shortcuts. They scream at me. Ryan, it's Alt-H. It's actually kind of funny.
It happens, man. And I think that, some people like using it right there on the keyboard. Some people like clicking it. I mean, you guys see me on TC. I always click it. But hey, if you want to use the hotkeys too, why not? All right, looking for charge point to take back the VWAP. Of course, I've taken the swing trade on that, and I've talked about how really the big thing for me is a close back up above 850s for charge point. That's going to be the major thing to watch for. I'll look to see if that happens or not. That's right here, the charge point move. We'll look to see if we get back into that box above. But the big thing for me is just looking at the VWAP. Are we going to bounce here right back up there towards 830s? Something like that would be looking pretty good here for a nice recovery. And then just looking for Intel to keep working, man. This is looking really well for me today on Intel. Of course, that's the Moo trade. Take 37s, and we're going to be looking really good as I got this, of course, down there towards 35.84. I'll be up more than a point there if we can take 37s.
Tiger taking the next leg up here. This was a Bex shout earlier today when it was making this first move away from VWAP. So again, we kind of came back into VWAP, moved away from it, consolidated and grinded. Now it looks like we're taking the next leg up here. So I don't have any position in Tiger. But this one, yeah, slow and steady. This one moving up here. This is a nice one.
Yeah, that's not a bad one at all.
No, it's not. I'm still looking around, folks. IQ, wow.
If you could throw up a chart of Tesla, that would be great. We're getting some reports from Reuters. The two senior Tesla executives discussed the company's plans to enter India with officials from the country's investment promotion arm in New Delhi, two people with direct knowledge of the matter. This is the latest in series of high talks. You can see Tesla's moving higher. The U.S.-based executive, senior publicly policy and business development executive Rohan Patel, and a vice president for supply chain, Roshan Thomas, are currently in New Delhi and met officials from the Investment India Agency, the two sources said, declining to be identified as these discussions were private. Remember, it is important that the U.S. car maker Tesla has expressed an interest in building a factory in India that would produce a low-cost electric vehicle priced at around $24,000, around 25% cheaper than Tesla's current entry model for both the India market and export. So just watch Tesla. Shares are moving higher.
View unhalted, shares moving higher now. This thing, I mean, I don't even know how to trade this. I'll just go ahead and say that. Remember, we had a upside halt at 717. That opened into a downside halt at 1550. That downside halt opened to 16, and now we've gone higher, but now we're pulling back. I mean, this thing's just all over the place. I know that this is really the only thing that's moving around like crazy right now, but just too difficult. I mean, I guess maybe just taking a couple of shares and seeing if it goes higher. That would be the only way. I can't make heads or tails of a move like this.
All right. I did one just for Becca here with the great call out today. Gotta give it to you.
The wonderful thing about tickers is tickers are a wonderful thing.
And this is why I love live trading.
Oh man, why
Not
did you
only because of on the show, but because of Mitch.
The wonderful world of Tigger.
Ryan, I do. Are you going to feel some expression for me when it's just Mitch and I next week when you're not here and I have to?
Well, it's only first of all, it's only 2 days.
That's what I mean. Thursday and Friday.
I mean, Mitch tends to tighten up a little bit when there's less people here because he knows that
it's not as fun.
You'll still be watching, right? At least.
I mean, yeah, I put it in my earbuds, but I will literally be driving at that time.
So just be Mitch and I.
On the road.
Just be Mitch.
Thursday and Friday, it will just be you and Mitch.
That will be fun.
It will be fun. You guys will have a great. But don't forget, just because I'm not here is not the end of the world. You got the entire community will be here as well. This is why our show is so awesome.
Man, QuantumScape battery still going higher.
Yeah, it's just wild stuff.
Dude, I might have sold that one a little too early.
Maybe just a tad.
A little too early, but look at Microsoft here. I think that's a very important stock to see if it takes the next level here. Keep your eyes on Microsoft as a good leading indicator on the day, right? If this could stay strong, I could see stocks continuing to lift. Same thing for Netflix, stocks like that. Tesla is an important stock to see today, right? Are those going to be the stocks that continue to drive us right back to the upside? Apple, look for it to stay in the green, right? Stocks like that to keep pushing. I think Apple wants 200. It looks like it wants 200. I think a lot of people got a little bit excited when they heard that AI news. And I was like, come on, man. You know Apple's working on something. They got something underneath their belt. They're just going to wait to pull it out and probably have a polished product versus what you're seeing from some of the other places where they're just trying to put something out in the meantime and figure it out along the way. Apple wants to put out that polished product. We'll see what happens there as it's at 195 and seems to be holding 1 hour pullbacks right now around 193s or 192.50s. Let's see if it takes 197, 200 in the long run. And this stocks like this are the ones that I think that could just keep pushing to the upside. Same thing with NVIDIA. I wouldn't be getting in front of this. By no means necessary. This could be at 500 before it reports. All right. You're out of XOM, says Quantum. We'll see what happens there. I still have it for right now. We'll see if it does go into the red. Looking right here to see what types of stocks are up out in the market. Of course, you see solid state battery, live streaming doing well. Some China stocks showing up there. Billy doing really well today. NFTs doing well there. And so 10-cent music, one to keep an eye out for you there. That's actually doing pretty decent. Coursera, that was education this morning, had some good earnings. I don't know if that will keep going higher, but one to keep an eye out for. Here's the one squeezing higher from the SPAC land, Open Door. I haven't been watching this one, but daily chart looks good here as it wants to take 465 to 5. It's actually not looking too bad. Interesting stock, Open Door. All right. And we'll see if Zillow Group is going up. Let me just take a peek here. It's not really going up. It's kind of hanging in there, but the daily actually hanging in there above the 151s. If it can hold that, doesn't look too bad.
AURC is halted. Units are also halted. RXRX was moving around earlier. What's going on with that, Mitch?
So it's pulling back here. It's trying to hold some support here from the prior action. It's kind of in the middle. So that's a little bit harder chart. I'll show you guys that right now. And I looked at it in exactly the time frame that you're looking at, Crow. So try to help you guys out. And so we'll see what happens here. I think that we need to see it kind of recover, right? And so I would look for us to try to do those kind of breakdowns, right? So the rule of 3 also plays for the downside action too. And I look for this all the time. So I've seen this about one side try to break that downside action through 13. Let's see, 2 times try to break that downside action. It just tried to do that 3rd time and tried to break down. And then we just got a little bit on like the 15-minute. You can see here how this has been trying to break down here and hasn't really broke down. I'd look for another attempt down there towards maybe making a wick below 1280s for me before I want to jump on it. But that's just me because I'm always looking for that rule of 3 to kind of play in here. Other than that, I'd be looking for it to hold VWAP pullbacks. That's 13 now, and for it to take 1350s on some big upside action. You want to see the volume also increase. If you do get that run to 1350s, take some volume back towards 150,000 on the breakout through the 1350s, would show me a little bit more conviction that it wants to get back up towards 14. We'll see what happens there on RXRX. It's a bigger move, right? Volatility definitely there. And I can't blame you guys on the daily looking at this stock because it's kind of getting that flip back towards the green here. And the outlook is a move towards like 15. So you have to keep the risk and reward here in mind. And I would really want to see it close back above the 9 EMA, 1340s on the day. All right, that's going to do it there for the outlook on RXRX. Always here to take a look at stocks, guys. You just keep throwing them up. CNC. I'll take a peek there. Healthcare plan pulling back there. And you're looking at the 15-minute chart you want to see. This just looks like a reversal. So to me, this is just kind of a reversal off the 65. So kind of how I played the intraday action in Intel. Look how this kind of played out too. You see it on the 5-minute a little bit closer. This is just reversal action off the 65. And so the algos see that 65. They see it hold 1, 2, 3. So then they start just buying it up and risking off that 65. And then you see that reversal action. So as long as it's going to hold 65 today, it's not looking too bad off the reversal off that level. But really, now you want to start seeing it hold this VWAP 66. It could pull back to maybe 64.90s, 64.95. But I wouldn't want 65.90s. I wouldn't want to see it break down there back through that 65. The NC. A firm called out there, and this is one that I think could come back today, as it did make a hard downside action yesterday. Big red candle to try to wash some people out. Now you need to see if it can recover back above 1776. And the big thing is it catches this daily support underneath it. Daily support is closer towards the 1625s. Now you want to see it come right back up towards the upside, take out 1776, and really make a move to 19 if you're really going to make this stock kind of squeeze. So now I'd be looking for 17s to hold as you broke through that earlier on the day, and look for this to kind of really push here now if it really wants to get going. If it breaks 17 again, you got to be careful, because of course, like yesterday was and this morning was mentioned by Ryan, a lot of bearish engulfing candles on the dailies now, which is that candle there. How do you shake a bearish engulfing candle? You come back and you eat it bigger. And so you want to see this candle eventually get back up here past this close yesterday of 1831. If that could do that, then this candle does not look bearish at all. If anything, it looks bullish. All right, kicking it to you, Ryan, at least your charts. What do you
I was just watching this MRSN, which we talked about. It really looks like it's trying to go through 140, and I'm tempted to buy it down here because I think that we probably bounce. Here we go. Well, let's see. MRSN. I don't see a whole lot. I know View opened. We're currently trading right around here. I can actually go to that real fast. View right around this 17. Remember, this did go as high as 18. Probably going to stay away from View, though, as this just is way too wild for me. Otherwise, don't really see a whole lot out here.
Looking to see if Intel can keep holding now the VWAP and look for that to keep riding higher. So we don't want to see it break 36 from here on out. So it can go ahead and cancel an earlier stop and just let that keep trying to keep working to the upside.
I was going to say, if you could throw up Centene, CNC, someone was just asking in the chat if they could read the earnings again. Sure. Adjusted EPS, $2.10. Estimate was for $2.02. Revenue, $37.61 billion. Estimate was for $36.41 billion. Boost 2023 full year guidance. They see full year adjusted EPS of $6.45. Saw at least $6.40. Estimate was for $6.54, and they see full year revenue $147.3 billion to $149.3 billion. They saw $144.5 billion to $146.5 billion, better than expectations. Stock is lower, and you know, it just could be the sell, buy the rumor, sell the news again. We saw this with a lot of other stocks. Can you throw up a year to date chart? Is this thing up a lot year to date? No,
in fact, it's down year to date.
I'm not sure exactly then why stock is down. Pretty good quarter, raise the guidance. It could just be another one of those stocks that you gotta really dig for.
Nah, man, it's just it's a lovely pullback. Remember, stocks love to go higher into the move, and so always look at the daily, see if the stock ran into the move. And so I think traders were already playing this prior to this, and that's how it can happen to you. So now you got to look for daily levels to hold, right? So the 65 area is very important on the daily, and then below that you go towards like 63. And so as long as it can recover 65 today and kind of hold right back up, it does what? It gap fills. And then the gap fill, you want to see it come right back above that gap fill and start to use that as support. And so you can see this right now. I'm going to show you guys this on the daily with showing you the gap. And you see this gap here that it fills here. So it just comes back. It's like kind of some people call this the liquidity search. So like the stock comes back to where there was volume prior to the action. And so now I just want to just like close above, like, let's say where it is right now, 66.20s. If it can close anywhere in this gap, it'll be looking good for a little wick trick towards 65 and then a recovery of 70. If it does do that recovery of 70, you're going to be looking really good because you washed out some bulls and now you recover that and go higher.
So Ryan and Mitch, it's a good question. How do you guys play into earnings? Do you listen? Is it a good rule to say listen to the conference call before you start trading and after earnings, or what's a good rule or how to play stocks into earnings and even after earnings too?
So most of the plays that I do, unless it's a long-term investment where I'm trying to hold through earnings anyway, I play it after the print because the binary event introduces a event that I cannot control. So it removes more control from my actual trade. So if I'm trying to do a day trade or a swing trade or something like that, I don't want the binary event to be part of that time horizon because I'm then exposed to that event. And if I don't have any type of, line or feeling on how that's going to go, that's effectively gambling at that point. If I'm trading a chart pattern, and I'm trading while the market is open, then as soon as things change, I can control my risk exposure. The opposite is true in an earnings play. So first of all, if you're interested in a company, I definitely think and recommend you listen to the conference call. I listened to every Apple conference call up until recently, and even so, I still should. I'm actually kind of slacking. But yeah, I mean, I definitely listen to them. You can get tidbits in there. If it's an industry that you understand, it's probably going to be more valuable to you. If I listen to a conference call on a biotech play, I often have to look things up. I don't even know what some of the damn words are because it's not something that's familiar to me. So as far as trading goes, I like to trade into and after the print. I don't like to have exposure for the print unless it's part of a long-term thesis.
So listen to the conference call. That's basically
absolutely.
Okay.
Look, they do these things for a reason, and you have the option of listening to them. That comes down to, do you want to put the work in? If you don't want to listen to conference calls, then you probably don't really want to put the work in, or maybe I would say that maybe you don't care about that company as much as you would some other company.
All right, going to continue to watch, of course, lovely Intel as I look to see that ride higher. But I'll tell you about how the way I approach this, Nick, is that I always look at stocks for earnings. I either look for them a week ahead of it or after it about 3 days. I usually let the stock get about 3 days to kind of decipher the earnings, because a lot of times you can get beats and be scratching your head at the open if you try to play these earning stocks. And why does that happen? Because there's a lot of people that play things going into earnings. There's a lot of premium and options as you go into earnings. There's a lot of action, put it that way. And whenever there's a lot of action, there's going to be volatility. So I'm either doing two things. I'm either trying to play the volatility prior to earnings and ride the wave higher into the earnings and always sell before the earnings come, or I'm looking to do the opposite, which is play the volatility going down as after the stock. Maybe it had really good earnings, but pulled back dramatically and going to look for that swing back to the upside. Things like that is what I look for in earnings plays. So let's say if you're trying to get a stock and you really like a stock and then the earnings come out really good and then the stock gets hit, that's no need for you to run the other way. Just look for a discount opportunity there and always be looking at daily levels to try to help you there for stocks to come back to it and then wick right back to the upside. I see it all the time. All right, let's get back to the action here. I'll show you guys here a Moo as I'm keeping a watch on Intel here. And what do we have here? The stock goes up, it comes back down, it goes up, it comes back down. So I have my 2 layers of support, looking for the third layer of support, already third resistance try there at 36.70. So the rule of 3, baby, coming into play again. We'll look to see if it comes back through the 36.70s, and that would be the breakout. All right, guys, it's about 10:39. We're going to keep going to about like 10:50, and then I think we'll start wrapping it up. We don't have anything after this today here, so you guys definitely smash the like if you guys want us to keep going.
Okay, real quick. Bruce Crow's comment. Crow says, Ryan, check out the news that UFAB caused the halt down. Yeah, so Crow, real quick, this is what he's referring to. News was Unique Fabricating comments on trading activity, says, quote, company has no news to announce at this time that would account for the recent increase in trading activity of its shares of common stock. This is common, Crow. It is rather entertaining when a company has to do this, but this is common. You'll see this if a stock is part of some type of newsletter or room or something of that nature. The company will sometimes say, yeah, we don't really have any news. We understand our stock is volatile today, but we don't have any news for that. That's what you're seeing here in UFAB. Apparently it halted down here on UFAB. So yikes. Second question here, Alexa saying, Ryan, do you guys have the earnings calendar for next week? No, we don't, Alexa. I don't know when that will be available. I'm hoping by midday. But follow me on Twitter and I will post that as soon as it is up.
Yes, I was going to say.
Looks like you answered it. Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say, normally it will be on our Twitter. It will be the pinned tweet for the week.
Right. And then Bex is calling nerdy, right? Ticker NRDY. Wow, look at that. So what happened here, Bex? This looks like this is news related, right? Huge volume pop here and move away from the view app. This would have been great. I don't see anything else in here. I don't see anything else in here on nerdy, but wow, what a move. Let me check the Twitter streets here real quick.
No worries, guys. And that earnings calendar should be out later today, like Ryan said.
Yeah.
So we'll make sure to get that out there. It
Yep.
should be on our Twitter. So if you're not following our Twitter already, well, you know what you need to do right now. Just go to Twitter / Benzinga, and I'll give you guys the handle right now so if you guys can go over there.
We have Apple, we have Amazon next week, and yes, of course, I'll be on the calls counting AI. No worries, no pressure.
There's the Twitter right there, guys. If you guys aren't following us, go ahead and do so.
And I am going to say, Mitch and Ryan, I am keeping track, and we'll have a tweet later this week of how many times Apple and Meta and Amazon have all said AI, and then eventually we'll update that when NVIDIA gets when they report earnings, and I believe that's the 23rd. So there'll be a tweet outgoing this week about how many times each company has said AI, and I'm going to try and compare that to the last earnings call. And so we'll see if AI is being increased.
What a move by Roku today, man. That's a big move there. All right, going to look for this to start acting as support here on Intel, and then we'll have our third layer bottom. And then I can go ahead and move my stop towards about 3620s and just keep trying to ride the trend higher in Intel. And so I'm just trying to follow the process approach that I believe in, right? And that's what it's all about here.
TUP, maybe rounding off the bottom here, making a move back towards its VWAP on TUP.
All right, there you go. I got my three bottoms. Now I'm going to look for it to take out the high, 3670s. I'm looking for a run on Intel here. Actually, let's go to the Moo charts. It's in the Moo. Trying to get a party here. Let's see it. Let's see it. Our stock's going to keep the running today. That was for Ryan.
What happened? I'm sorry, man.
Little Star Wars life for you, man. Got to keep going.
I missed it.
All right. No worries. No worries. We'll see if we can keep going. Maybe I didn't even play it right. Who knows?
Yeah, I didn't hear anything.
Yeah, it might have been on my side. Let's see if that one's fixed up. Let me go. Let's see if it. Ooh, no, that one's not fixed up. See? I caught one. Let's get it right. Here you go.
This is getting out of hand. Now there are two of them.
Oh, Viceroy.
All right, let's see what else is going on. XOM coming back. Ooh. It is coming back down. I'm watching it. Let's see if it can hold the 103s. Definitely don't want it to break 102.50s today. Probably going to get my fills here through the 103 spot. Come on. Come for that 103 and then just come right back up. All right. Got to go ahead and just keep watching now on Intel as I start having that bottoming action. I can move my stop a little bit higher here. I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'll cancel. Go ahead and set a new stop limit here. 21 and then 36.20 on pullback. So no matter what now, Intel will be a win for me today. We'll see if it gets back to the upside. So no matter what, $6 winner, really looking for like that $20 win. And believe it or not, man, these $20 wins are adding up. And I think that for smaller traders out there that are just trying to learn how to stack up money and really get to that next level, I think that's what this is really all about. Like, look at the month that I've had. Look at the 3 months that I've had. If you're looking to really show that you know how to trade, do an account like this, right? Take an account really like 50, 60% higher in a year with consistency throughout. That's going to show you so much more. So much more than maybe opening up like a $30,000 account and then dropping that $30,000 account to $10,000 as you learn that, hey, maybe I'm not ready, right? And I think that's so important. Come into this market with small exposure as a new trader, learn how to play the game, and then look for more exposure. This is where I think traders get it wrong. They come in with extreme exposure and work backwards.
Yep. I think you're totally right on that, Mitch.
And the key there is you got to learn how to play the game before you act like an expert, right? I think that a lot of traders come in here, they see one video on YouTube and they think they're experts.
And part of that is the people on YouTube. They make it look easy and everyone thinks, well, I can do that too. And then you take all your hard-earned money, leverage it, and it doesn't work out because nobody told you about the potential downsides. And it's like, well, what happened?
Yeah. And I mean, that's just common. That's going to happen, guys. And I think that one thing is always to keep in mind is that there's no such thing as this trade's 100% going into the green.
Yeah.
There is no such thing.
There's no
Trust me.
such thing.
ChatGPT doesn't know it. So if ChatGPT doesn't know it, probably we don't either, right? Let's just think about it like that. All right, we'll see if this really starts to take off here. Looking for this to start going towards 36.72. You know, one thing that I'm thinking about starting to use AI is that I'm that type of person that I've always wanted to kind of code some algorithms. So now with AI, you're getting a lot better features to learning how to code without learning how to code, right? Like prompt.
Learn
features.
how to prompt.
Yeah, learn how to prompt, right, Ryan? And let that go ahead and code for me in Python, things like that. There's some good plugins now for ChatGPT 4. If you guys want to check that out, you guys can reach out to me. I'm actually starting to work on stuff like that because, to tell you the truth, I mean, hey, I know some strategies and I would love to kind of code them in, but it's not easy, right? So we'll see if I can able to get that done. Also, you guys can check out on Moomoo the quant feature if you want something similar to this, but really easy, right? The quant feature is actually pretty interesting on Moomoo. You can be setting up strategies to run by themselves, and you can actually detect errors in the strategy. You can actually run things, you can test them. So check it out, guys.
I have not played around with that enough yet. I need to. That looks pretty sweet to me.
Oh yeah, it's pretty sweet for sure. I mean, one of the things I always think about is that if you can make things go down in emotions by trying to help yourself set really good qualifications for your trade, that could definitely help you, right?
Yeah, no question.
Figure out what those variables are to kind of not overtrade, right? And get to the high quality opportunities.
Top might be going back to its VWAP here, folks.
ChatGPT helped me a lot in terms of learning the code. Not to say that I can code, Walter said. Hashtag.
Yeah, I mean, I can't. Like, I can't. The extent of my coding would be going to ChatGPT and saying, "Write me Python code for a simple moving average." I mean, for X days.
Yeah, Nick. Well, come on, man. You're supposed to be the coding expert. Come on.
Oh, I'm supposed to be the coding expert. Well, I'm not even close to using ChatGPT. I do everything myself.
No, you got to at least tell me you know somebody that's the coding expert. There's some kids, man. Nowadays, they're really good coders in high school. It impresses me. It impresses me, and I think Did you have any friends like that, Nick?
Well, yes, I have a few, but I don't believe everybody's saying ChatGPT and the AI is going to come take our jobs. I don't believe that one bit. I think that's false just because how inaccurate it can be. And so I personally don't use ChatGPT for anything, not even for schoolwork. I'm just that disclaimer out. Not even when I write my scripts for this show, I don't use
Come on,
ChatGPT.
man.
I
Yeah,
write
it's probably smart because you're actually learning it, especially for school, right? If
Yes.
you had Chat GPT to write all your papers or do all your homework assignments, you wouldn't actually learn anything, number
No.
one. So that's not actually going to help you. The other
I
thing,
actually am a little against that, but we'll talk about that later.
that's a conversation for another day. The other thing here is that Chat, when you talked about jobs, Chat GPT will eliminate some, or AI will eliminate some jobs. But what no one else talks about is on the other end of that, it will create jobs too. I mean, we're already just talking about prompting. Low-level coders, grunt work coders, yeah, they'll probably be replaced by AI. But really high-level prompters, that will be an entire new field. And you will probably be able to generate more types of, different types of applications and all of that. TUP coming up to the VWAP here, by the way, on TUP. So there, a lot to think about. It's not just the negative. And a lot of the time, again, we talked a lot about the media's job, that when you turn on the television, their job is to scare the shit out of you. They want people to come back and be viewers. And the way they do that is by acting on your most primal emotion, which is fear. It's been the gameplay. This has been in the book for a long time. And so when you hear stuff about AI, they'll tell you a lot about, hey, well, this is all the bad stuff that's going to happen, and not really giving any credence to the good stuff that can happen. Top rejected at VWAP, by the way.
All right, let's see if you can make a move here. Keeping an eye on it right now. It just hit VWAP there, and I think that was an interesting VWAP touch there. So we'll look to see if it can hold now and make the move right back to the upside. Of course, keep that in mind. This could come right back through the 50s, 70s, and that's a pretty good outlook. That's 60 cents down. So understand how you're playing if you're playing view. All right, looking for Intel to really start holding here. I'll show you guys that right now, and I've had it already drawn out. You can see how now we're starting to break down here. Definitely can't break down through this support. If not, it'll probably go through that 26, and I'll just take what I can get. And that's okay too, right? Because the key is the price action should keep going in my favor. It should not pull back here. It should take out the highs at 69 and 70s. We went right back to it, and it reversed right back off of that level. That tells me that be careful, because now you could break your third support. You can break your second and even that first support. So what am I going to do? I'm going to get out if it breaks the second support. Simple as that, right? Sometimes it's good to make trades simple so that what you do is take away the emotions, right, Ryan? The easier that you make the levels just simple. Hey, I'm in here. I'm out there. That's it.
The simpler you make a trade, the easier it is to execute, because like you said, Mitch, oftentimes you're removing emotions. Yeah, so just to clarify, no, Mitch and I are completely unscripted every single day. Nick, however, does write out what he's going to talk about, and rightfully so, because he's giving numbers that he has to be accurate with. And so the only way to really stay on top of that is to write that out and make sure that you hit the right numbers. But
and
this is an unscripted show.
It takes a little bit of time.
Yeah, it does.
I'll do a little small correction there. Yeah, this show has no scripts. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, we're trading here, right? So we take things really kind of relaxed. But on, let's say, like pre-market prep, yeah, I work a script up. I mean, how the hell do you think I'm going to deliver the news? So I think that's the important thing, right? Now the big thing there is kind of learning how to maybe not play too much into your guys' emotions, but also at the same time, try to get your attention. That's where I struggle a lot as let's say a host. And I try to do my best, you guys see on pre-market prep, to bring a little bit of a mix, right? I'm definitely going to be bringing some news that brings some emotions, but at the same time, I'm here to focus on the important stuff on pre-market prep, like we do levels, understanding the psychology of the trade, not just the numbers that are given. And I think that that's what we're here for. So pre-market prep's a little bit more of like actual analysis. This is kind of more real live time. Of course, we can't have a script here. ChatGPT helps Mitch script on pre-market prep. Yes, it does help sometimes. I use it sometimes also, especially to help me summarize things. And I think that that's one thing that everybody should be trying to do, use things, right? And so let's say like the complicated area in Japan today to understand, right? Nick, do you understand what's going on in Japan right now?
Not really.
Let's just be honest. That's past our pay grade, as they
Yes.
say on pre-market prep. And what it is that it's deals with a lot of economic stuff. So what I do in this case is I will grab really credible sources and I will bring them into ChatGPT, and I will bring multiple sources in, not just one. And I think that's the key too. And then I would compile that in and I say, ChatGPT, explain me the top highlights from this. And so I can understand it at a beginner's level. Boom. I get a nice little paragraph. That's called prompting. That's how you get the right answers. And that's why, Ryan's right. If you're an AI expert, it's going to be because you're an AI prompting expert. And that is going to be a position that's actually valuable.
Absolutely.
I was going to say, if I had a script for this show, I'd be running to the printer probably every 10 seconds.
There you guys see it. It's about to crack that and get me out an intel. Let's see if it goes heads and fills me here. And I just take the gains there. And boom, I already got hit there. I feel like, oh no, it's unrealized there. It's close. It's close to getting me out there. I had to stop right underneath it at the 26. So 22, I think 23s is where I set it. Let's go to the trades and actually tell you guys exactly where it's at right now. It's at 21s with a 20 out. So right underneath it here. We'll see if I do get the hit and get out. If it recovers from here, I can stay into the trade. Why do I put my levels below the support? Because it's too obvious to put it right there at 26 or 27. It could easily just go there and bounce. So I like to put it slightly below that level, right? So that the algos don't just take that volume and it just goes higher. And then I'm just pissed 5 minutes later. This happened to me earlier in the week on ChargePoint, where I got out at 811 and the stock literally filled me at 810. And the stock didn't even there was maybe 2 shares that traded at 810. It was probably my shares, right? So that's how it goes sometimes if you put your level exactly, if your stop is exactly at that level. You'll get market maker hunted. You'll get stop hunted. It happens all the time. I see it. Glad you're enjoying this, Chris. That's what I'm here for, man. Try to give great explanations, try to tell you guys about trading and really learn from it, really, because at the end of the day, there's so much more that we can do. And I'm glad that you guys enjoyed our AI talk today. It's something a little bit different. And that's what we're here for too, right? To get into different areas, cover the market, get into these conversations about trading. Let's get back to the market action and let's take a look there. There's the fill there. It came as simple as that. Boom. Now we're getting filled there. Took my $6. But what does this do? It guarantees a win. And I think that that's more important, especially in a small account challenge, to keep things going in my favor. And that's pretty much going to do it for July. I mean, we got one more day on Monday, but can I really be mad about this? No, I can't be mad about this. Now, I won't have any more day trades from here on out here until I think Wednesday or Thursday of next week. So I got to be careful with that. Of course, I use my day trades to do what? Do protection and take gains. That's what I like to use them for. But now at 6:45, and what did I do? I got through my rut, which was in early July, and now really starting to expand forward, which is the important part. And it's not a bad return here in July. Let's say the month for July is at 12.77%. And you guys can see here from the little graph here, I think this is very important. Look at the reds, tiny.
Small.
Look at the greens.
Much bigger.
That's how we're going to keep doing it, man. If we keep doing that, I can just keep working this account. And I'm going to look forward and I'm going to try to actually add some more capital to this account so that we can keep doing this and showing you guys how we can really kind of grow one of these small accounts to that next level. Of course, you guys can learn all that. You guys can learn all that right here on live trading, of course. Let's wrap it up, boys. Any last comments here for the market? Feel free.
Have a great weekend. That's going to be my last comment. I'm looking forward to getting away from the screens from a couple of days. Got a short week next week, so really looking forward to that. Going to go outside, touch some grass, see family. So have a good weekend, everybody, and we'll see you next week.
Have a good weekend, folks.
And of course, Mumu has switched over to Canada. So if you want to check that out, I would definitely check it out, guys. So definitely check that out. I'll give you guys the link. They have moved to Canada. I haven't seen too much Europe yet, but here you guys have it. Check out our link like always. Nick, thank you for joining me like always, my friend, and joining live trading.
Thanks. Have a good weekend.
All right, that's going to do it for us here, guys. Smash the like before we get out of here. And you guys are starting to see some downturn there in views. So be careful out there, team, with the smart window action. I'll see you guys back right here, like always, right here on Benzinga. If you haven't hit the subscribe before, what are you waiting for, guys? We'll see how my swing trade action keeps going. Charge point in the red, XOM just break even. BJ looking good still. Ross moving higher. Hyatt moving higher. PXD moving higher. And then another one that I opened, which was Tech today. Won't have a start swing trade later today. So this is going to do it for us as I continue working on my brand new show that's coming for you guys. I'm telling you, I've been working hard with Nick Brown also on this. I think you guys are really, truly going to be impressed. You guys will see that coming up sometime late next week. And then stay tuned because there's a lot more for you guys right here on Benzinga, of course. Keep pushing, guys. Hit those likes. Keep working on your skills. Paul C., anything in the afternoon? I do not think we will have anything here on the afternoon as I'm going to go work on that show to finish it up for you guys. Make sure that my trading action is going well. And of course, keep it going right here on Benzinga. Guys, like always, can keep up with me at MoneyMitchBZ. If you guys have any questions, I mentioned it before that you can DM Ryan and you can DM Zunaid. It looks like you can't right now, but I think they switched that on their Twitter. Mine are open. You guys can message me whenever you guys want. I'll see you guys right here on live trading. Hope you guys enjoy it. That's what it's all about. Hit the like button. And to tell you the truth, you guys are the first to find out about the new show. So enjoy that one. I'll see you right here, of course, on live trading with Benzinga. And trust me, the new show, it's looking pretty damn good. I've been working really hard on that. So really proud of what I've created. And I'll see you guys right here to show you guys that next week. Hit the like on the way out.